That's the wrong one.
It was.
5, 4, 3,
I'm so close to meeting him. I'm so
2.
close to it.
To
I'm
one?
watching it.
Muting him.
I got my mouse ready, so I was watching the screen to see if you mute me. 1, and
Oh,
we're live.
I thought you were saying beating him. I'm like, really? That's aggressive.
Well,
Yeah,
he brings out the best in me.
it escalated quickly.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh, what is going on here?
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you all for coming in. And something is resource hogging my system right
I
now.
know. I was like, Jamie, I can see your green screen.
I know. I
Oh.
feel so exposed right now.
Your green screen is showing. Oh my gosh.
What
Oh.
in the world?
And
That's just not cool.
so this is really interesting. Now it's doing captions. Is that something new that you guys did?
I
What
think
do you mean?
that's
It's generated by Facebook automatically.
Hmm.
You have to-
Yeah, it's been doing captions for a little while. Every time I watch the show, I've seen
Really?
captions, but I don't know that they caption it correctly.
It's pretty good, I think, but I don't know how. I think it's on personal devices that it turns on and off.
See,
well, on
this is
personal
the first
devices, it
time
covers
I've
up
heard
Sandy.
that song.
Oh, that's right.
That's not bad. I'm not mad. I am mad at you.
Yeah, I just left Sandy's house and somebody was in the pool.
I know.
I was like, must be nice.
She was telling us before you got here.
Yeah, because Dakis was like, "Did you go running?" I said, "No, I was in the pool."
Yep.
She did laps around
Yep.
the pool.
My kid ran from our house and he's like, I want to go to Sandy's house.
He's like, "Let me have some water."
He's like, what? And then he said that they only spent like an hour. I was like, really? You're lame.
I know. I'm like, when I got home, they were already out and eating, snacking on chips and stuff. Joe, did you feed Jet? Because I don't think he liked our dinner very much.
I did. We ended up, because I said, did you eat? And he goes, yeah, we had shrimp pockets or something like that.
I'm gonna try something.
Okay, he had shrimp pockets, and I was like,
We
what
had
are
shrimp,
those?
shrimp and veggies.
Shrimp and veggies, and he
Yeah.
Oh,
goes,
that sounds delicious.
It was really good, but I don't think it was his cup of tea. So we're like, "You want a sandwich?" He's like, "No, I'm good, thanks." I'm
Yeah.
like, "He thinks everything sucks at our house."
So whenever we picked him up, I was like, "Are you hungry? We're gonna go to Mighty Tierra to pick up some food, some tacos." And it's like, "Yeah, I'll take a burrito."
Yeah, I figured he was because he didn't eat a whole lot. I'm like, "Oh, he's not."
Yeah,
Yeah,
and-
So, Joe, you taught him well not to be rude.
Did it work?
right. He knows not to be rude because I'll whoop him.
Right? No, he was really rude. Not really. Just kidding.
Hey,
Hi,
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
Hey, Priscilla.
Hi,
Glad you're here with us tonight.
Priscilla.
Yeah. So how was your day, Sandy?
My day was good, uneventful, busy all day, pretty much. Oh, something interesting today.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I'll tell y'all after. This is after show stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. We have an after show today,
This
so
is
you
after
have
show stuff.
to
But
join
anyway,
us.
yes, you have to join us if you want to know what's going on. And I sent you a picture of our dinner.
I'm
of
trying to pull it up.
what Jed attempted to eat.
Do
I'm
you
trying
want me to pull it up, or do you got
Yeah, please.
it? Okay, hold up.
I got all kinds of.
I didn't do a whole lot. Hey, Carrie.
Oh, Carrie's here.
There it is.
And Carrie wanted you to know that there are Blackstones, and I'm not even going to tell you what location so they won't sell out.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I was like, oh, that's way over there.
He said they have a whole aisle dedicated to like all of the accessories. And the lady told them, yeah, we've had them all summer long. We've not sold out once.
Shut the front door. Okay.
Not like
So
over
why
here.
are Blackstones so wanted? Like, I don't understand what's so
I think it's
exciting
because
about these Blackstones.
Sandy and Eric have become quite TikTok famous using it. So
Right?
I think
that's it.
they are definitely causing that trend to
All
go.
4 of our viewers have gone out and hopped and bought some. So I think that's what's causing it.
That's funny.
That
Well,
is funny.
we can pretty much do breakfast, lunch, and dinner on that thing, Dr. Pineapples. I mean, it is just amazing. And
But
then
it's outdoors, right? You have to keep it outdoors.
yes, and so
Do you really?
I bring stuff outside. I
Well,
don't.
it's propane gas,
do any
so
of it.
I'm excited. Mine gets here on Thursday.
Oh, I bet you can't wait.
Nice.
I am so excited.
You better have a whole video.
better have
You know what
whole
you need?
video
You need to
planned.
do an unboxing video of it.
Yes.
That would be sweet. And you can do time lapse, or you can actually just do like snippets. But you need to do an unboxing video. I'll be sure to tune in that day.
Okay, all right. I'll do an
So
unboxing
let
of
me
it.
tell y'all, this is actually a gift to Jaime from my mother to say happy birthday early because the summer will almost be over by the time his birthday comes around.
Oh, okay.
So what's my Father's Day gift?
You don't get a Father's Day gift from my mother.
No, from you. Did you hear me?
You got a Father's Day gift.
What about my anniversary gift?
Man, he's like.
I feel like there's crickets here.
He's like putting. She's like connection issue. I'm sorry.
She's not even connection issue. You're giving her too much credit.
She's just smiling.
I tell all my friends, your gift is on back order. It'll be here in a few months. So that's your answer. Your gift is on back order.
Okay,
Due to the COVID-19, that's everybody's excuse right now. I couldn't pay because of COVID.
Right.
Alrighty then.
How was your day, Joe?
Oh, so listen to this, y'all. Listen. I got to work a little earlier than usual.
He was there at 11 o'clock.
11:01.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay. So I got to work.
15.
And so on Fridays, I buy lunch for the guys. And so I bought them lunch, and we had Chicken Express.
Chicken.
No, Chicken Express. We
I
had
was
Chicken
close.
Express. And so I usually order the 4 tender dinner. But
For all of y'all?
No, just for me. But they accidentally ordered me a 7 tender dinner, and I go to counting all the tenders, and there was like 9 of them. They put like 9 tenders.
Look at God.
Right.
Look
So
at chicken tenders raining.
yeah, I was just like, tenders are falling from the sky here, and I was like, but the thing is, why I think they do that is because they have such a long line, and they don't have anybody line busting. So basically, you wait in line a good 15, 20 minutes to get your food. So they've been throwing in extra chicken tenders and stuff like that. Because the guys ordered the 4 tender dinner, and they got 6. So
Okay. So
yeah. So
I hear you, Linda.
don't be so demanding. She hasn't.
Yes.
Linda was the one who made that remark a while
right.
back. I don't remember how it went, but I was like, I need to be.
Yeah.
Oh, she was talking about Sandy and her husband.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
I can't remember what she said. It was like,
You said, Linda.
And then I took Kiki to work, and then I took Jet over to Sandy's, and then I came home and I was trying to send out some final edits to people, and then I get a phone call or a Facebook message. Joe, we really need your help. We needed some pictures. We took them yesterday. They're not very good. Can you help us out? So I was like, can you meet me at the studio in 5 minutes or
You're like,
an
am I
hour?
plan B? Am I plan B? Is that
Yeah, I guess I was plan B. So, but I was able to get it done and got the shoot done. She only needed like 3 pictures or whatever. So took the shots, came home, edited them, sent them off to her, and was able to squeeze in a nap. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what's
Hashtag
great
nap
about
together,
being-
6 foot apart.
oh gosh, you know what's great about Plan B is it costs like $175 extra, and so that makes naps all the much better, right? Like,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did. Yeah, so I was like, we're about to go on vacation, so I'm like, I can knock this out, get some quick cash, and yeah, so it was
Yes, vacation money.
good. Vacation money.
How was your day, Dr. Pineapples? Babe?
Oh, my day was good. I'm always working. I hate that question. Don't ask me. It's Friday though, so that's great.
Yeah.
Amen to
I
that.
worked and worked and worked and worked. How
Yes.
about your day? Oh, you know what else I did? I tried to encourage my husband, who's asking me where his gifts are, by making dinner, because he usually comes home and makes dinner, but I made it instead.
I did want to say
Wow.
how appreciative that was. I didn't get to tell you that because you went into the room and started working again, and I was like, I don't want to disturb her, but I was like, man, that was really nice of her. I was like,
What did
gosh,
you
that
make
was
for
great.
dinner? What did you guys have?
She hooked it up. She made some steak and potatoes with some green beans.
Oh snap!
Yeah. And then the other kid, she's turning vegetarian, and so she was like, "You can have my steak, Daddy." And I was like, "Yes."
Best kid ever.
You're like, not even mad. He's like,
And I took a nap.
sweet.
What?
Hashtag
Yes,
nap together 6
I've
apart.
literally been taking pages out of Joe's book this week, and like, I am going to really try to take a nap.
And how do you
I've done
feel?
it.
Oh my goodness!
I gotta wait a little bit more, I think, for it to catch up or something. I don't know, but I
That
don't know.
last time you took a nap.
That one time was out of control.
Yeah,
That was
because
out of here.
you have to like on the napping you can't just like go from nap into work because you're all like
That's
discombobulated.
exactly what I did. I
You
was
like
like,
that
What time is
Yeah,
it?
do that
and I was
again.
like, it's 9 o'clock. Oh my gosh.
right, exactly. So you have to make sure you have some in between time, especially if you're not a professional nap taker like myself. So
You don't wake up wondering what year it is.
right,
Oh,
exactly.
it's still 2020.
Right.
Great.
We're still here.
Still here.
I thought it was Rip Van Winkle there for a little bit, but guess not.
Oh, I had Evie Mace for lunch today. So good.
Shut your face.
So good. So I was
Mace.
doing the curbside and I'm just gonna drive around and be safe. And then the guy comes around and he's like, "Would you like to go inside? There's no line." And he enticed me and I was like, "No line, but there's 10 cars here. I'm gonna go inside." That was a lie. There was 10 people in line and there was all the seats,
Oh,
and I'm like, dang it, I didn't want to come in here. Then there was this guy that was like breathing. He had a mask on. I had my mask on, but he was still breathing down my neck. And I'm like, scoot back.
It's like 6 foot apart, fool.
I tried
you're
to,
like, don't you
I
see
was-
my evil eye? I'm
I
giving you
know.
ojo right now.
I'm like, I was trying to scoot up and he'd inch up right. And I'm like, we're not together. Anyway, but my brisket was delicious.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
And
hear
if you've not ever had
It
Evie
sounds
Mays,
good.
today's a good
Man,
day. Well,
is-
tomorrow's a good day.
it. Yeah, tomorrow's a good day. For Evie Mays. Are they open? They're open tomorrow, huh?
They are. I think they're closed like Tuesday. And they're actually fixing to go on vacation. So you might want to check your schedules.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. I'm going to smoke some ribs tomorrow anyway. Smoke some ribs.
Whenever you say that, I'm like, what?
Drop a couple off.
I'm about to smoke some
Yeah.
ribs.
Oh,
Every day.
so speaking of smoking, Joe, I'm so glad you said that.
Okay.
So for everyone who's tuning in tonight and watching us on the replay, you remember we had been doing this whole dimensions of wellness thing. Dr. Pineapples came on and gave us the emotional dimension of wellness. Afterwards, she told us, because we were kind of prompting her, we were like, we'd love for you to come back on again. And she said, I would be willing to take questions and emails from your listeners, and then I would actually open up the books, look at their question, and actually give them a really thought out response. Because if you don't know, my wife has her PhD in marriage and family therapy. So the whole Dr. Pineapple thing is not just because it sounds good, it's because she's legitimately Dr. Dekisa Pina. So
Are you
with
sure
that-
with some pineapples?
so, and my wife is keep reminding me. She goes, "It's Dr. Pineapple, not pineapples." And I'm like, "I know, but I've kept pineapples on there from the beginning, and you're my wife, so sorry, babe.
Right.
Sorry."
So
Plural it
you're,
is.
you're pineapples.
Yeah, but I acknowledge your struggle with the plural form of pineapple when our
Thank
last name
you.
is only singular. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, I have the question, and I'm gonna read it aloud, and then Doc, you're gonna be able to respond to it right now, and then after that, you can leave or you can stay with us. It's your choice. Okay. I know you like your sleep, and I know that our show takes place.
I'll leave.
Okay.
Yeah,
My wife,
I'll be-
she loves to get to sleep early, and this is
Nice.
past her bedtime. So,
I'll be MS number.
all right. So here's the question. Dear Dr. Pina, my partner and I have been married for 13 years. He owns his own business, and because of COVID, his business has had some financial difficulties, which is causing our family a lot of stress. I found out that he is hiding the fact that he is smoking cigars. And when I asked him about it, he told me he did not purchase it himself and that it was a gift from a business client. When the credit card bill came in, I found out that he did make the purchase himself. He often lies about other things as well. Nothing that means a lot, just small little things that he has no reason to lie about. My question is, why is he lying? How do I get my point across that I don't have a problem with the cigars or other things he lies about? I just don't want him to lie to me. Can he change his behavior? Signed, Concerned.
Whoa.
Yep. So I was actually really excited to come on the show and talk about this specific question and concern, because we've all heard the term like pathological liar or, habitual liar. And I mean, it's a real thing. People lie through habit. And concerned, I'm assuming, well, let's not assume gender. Let's just say concerned. My answer to your first question to why he's lying, and my guess, since I don't know your husband, would be that your husband grew up in an environment where he had to lie to keep himself safe, and that he carried this coping strategy into your marriage. So when he was younger, it may have been a helpful coping strategy, but now that he's older and he's come out of that toxic environment, that it may be what we call a maladaptive coping behavior, which is just a really fancy term for that coping behavior doesn't work anymore. So that would be my guess as to why he's doing what he's doing. It might be something that he had to do when he was younger, and you would know that better than I would know that. But that would be my guess. So you also said, can he change his behavior? Well, absolutely. Everybody can change behavior. But all of us also know how difficult it is to change behaviors. Y'all know that, right, Joe?
That's right.
Yeah. Candy.
Yeah.
You know how difficult it is to change a habit. It has to be something that your husband wants to do, and it has to be something that he does with intentionality, which means that he really does need to create a plan to be able to change that habit that he's gotten into of lying. So I just say be patient. Research tells us that a habit can be changed minimum 21 days. So it takes a minimum of 21 days to work on changing a habit. And the average, can you all guess what the average number of days to change a habit would be?
60. Yeah.
Did y'all
You both
lie?
said 60?
Yeah.
Sure did.
Oh, did you really?
I was going to say 2 months. Oh, wait a minute. That's 60.
That's 60. So everybody says 60. You're almost on the nose. It's 66.
Oh,
Whoa.
It's an average of 66 days, so a little bit over 2 months to actually shift behavior. So you have to be really patient and intentional when you're trying to change a habit. So when you're talking to your husband about your concern, he might want to try something like mindfulness, which is just like, I don't know if you all have heard about mindfulness, but it's a huge fad that actually works. So it's a fad that works. And if that doesn't work, then I would look into behavioral therapy. That might be helpful too, because behavioral therapy is all about shifting behaviors. And then the last thing that I wanted to say is I can hear through the email that you are having some difficulty coping with your husband's behavior. And I just need you to remember to take care of yourself. So self-care is so important. So make sure that you are doing those 7 dimensions of wellness, that you're taking care of your spiritual health, your physical health, your mental health. Work on taking care of you. And I would also encourage you to focus on the positive things about your husband. So get out a journal and write 5 positive things about him every day.
Oh,
That'll help to balance the stress that you're feeling in your marriage. And that'll help you to balance out some of the negative feelings that you're having. So I would encourage you to do that too, until he can make the changes to be more open and honest. So I hope that's helpful, and I wish you all the best, my dear concerned.
So, doctor, do you think that the way that she approaches him with the lying, is that going to be helpful, or can also be destructive if she approaches him a certain way about it?
Yeah, so I always encourage people to use the sandwich technique. Have y'all heard of it?
Mm-hmm. Something positive, something to work on, something positive.
Yes, you lead in with something positive. Babe, you know how much I love you. You're such a great dad. You're such a great husband. I honestly don't know who I'd be without you. And that's why it's really important for me to share this concern with you, because I want our marriage to continue to be as awesome as it has been. I've noticed this. This is something that I've noticed. I'm not judging or blaming you. I just want to make sure that I'm here to support you with whatever you need. And then go from there. That's how I would do it. And then after you have that conversation, end it with, I knew you were such an awesome man. I said that, blah, 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 blah. And maybe even list off those 5 amazing things you wrote down about your husband.
That is the perfect sandwich. I have never heard anyone say a sandwich like that. And I do a lot of critiquing. And so that is probably the most impressive sandwich I've ever heard.
Well, thank
all
you.
I know is that Jamie was like, thanks.
Right. He wasn't even he would spill his guts from that point.
Yeah, I don't even like the
that was his anniversary gift.
Right.
Good gift.
Yeah, I think that is so because I think what happens is your partner will attack you, and then you get on the defensive, and then they get on the defensive, and it just goes back and forth. We're just attacking each other at that point, seeing who can bring up the best scar. Ouch. And so
I know who can peel that wound back, open that wound back up, and pour some salt in it.
Right, exactly.
Right? But I would like to say, as one who has heard the sandwich, for those of us, I'm a sensitive guy, and for those of us who are on the receiving end of the sandwich or hearing this, it also has to take a certain level of maturity for us to be able to accept that. When my wife tells me those things, it's not a personal attack. I've got to remind myself it's not a personal attack. It's her, because she's got some meat in the game too. You know what I mean? And so she's got to be able to live okay in the marriage too. And so the least I can do is listen to her when she tells me whatever the observation or the feeling is, and then I need to not take it so personal and be like, okay, I need to seriously just take it and do my best.
If she's starting with the sandwich, though, you're more open to hearing what she says. But so if they start with the meat of the sandwich first, there's no bread.
Bologna, it's over.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I'm glad he said this on a live recording. The fact that he said I have to be open and listen.
Oh yeah.
To the world. I'm happy about that, because I might just come and replay that over.
I might need to edit this episode a little bit, guys.
Yeah. I'm glad there's a delay.
So where can people email again if they want to send their questions?
They'll send it to the Social UnDistancing Show at gmail.com.
Yeah.
And then in the subject line, make sure to put Dr. Pineapples.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, y'all.
Good night.
I don't have to go home, but I gotta get out of here. I love y'all. I hope you have a wonderful show.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on, babe.
Thank you so much.
Friday.
Bye, everybody.
I'll see you later. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And so this is a perfect example why you go to a professional and not to a friend. Because
Right.
you want to know what I would have said?
What, Sandy? How does Sandy's therapy happen?
Joe, get the bleep ready.
No.
You need to tell me that this.
Yeah.
See, and that's why, because I'm going to support you all the way, but I'm also going to be ill advising you as well. So yes, always go to a professional. Because that was solid advice. And babe, I'm going to take that into consideration when I discuss things with you. I am. Don't roll your eyes, girl. I mean, we gonna be professional now.
Right. Hey, I think we lost Mr. Pineapples there for a second.
Mr. Pineapples went to go hug Dr. Pineapples, and
I think so, because he was pretty caught up in that.
he was. I mean, if you see his face, ladies, get you a man that looks at you like Dr. Pineapple. I mean, like Jamie looks at Dr. Pineapple.
Right, exactly.
Because he got so emotional. It was so cute. I was on his expression.
I know. I was watching him, and I was like, "That was awesome." I'm telling you, that sandwich right there was like absolutely perfect.
See, and that's the thing, is you don't think about those kind of approaches. You, like you said, you feel attacked, and you're instantly gonna.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna bite back.
Yeah. You don't tell me what to do, girl.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway,
Wow.
and I hope I hope you feel like that was a great answer, because I really feel like that was a great answer.
Right. Yeah, and especially like understanding the thing is like understanding where he came from first, and not just thinking that he's against you. I think that's what a lot of people feel. It's like that they're doing something against you, where it could be this is just how it used to be or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, because I know I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Because I know how I am. That's why my assistant don't do things like that. Because he knows I'm irrational. Like, we're gonna jump to conclusions.
Right. Let me show you how to do this.
Look at Joanne. That's hilarious.
I'll just what?
Joanne, we don't look good in orange, girl. We can't.
No way. Not
Orange
good at all.
Or blues, whatever color it is these days, white and black. I don't know. We can't do that, Joanne.
So Mr. Pineapples, I think, is having some technical difficulties. So I
believe
think
so.
he's coming back on. But so for today, no, he does not. He wasn't having technical difficulties.
He was having technical difficulties. He ran up there to go give Dr. Pineapples a great big old smooch.
Right. You know this is PG-13 show, right?
Yeah, I know it is.
Right.
I am having to pull up some homework though, so keep going.
Oh, okay. So, you know what we forgot?
No.
We forgot.
I knew it.
There it is.
That's it. I'll just shoot him.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, the girl, we don't look good in orange or black and white, whatever that color is.
I got too much to do to be walking around in a little tiny sail.
I know that's right. You know how many naps you could get in, though?
Right, exactly.
All right.
So today's Feel Good Friday.
Yep.
Do you want to go first?
So what I'd like to do is I want to share. I'll share a story.
Okay.
Then Sandy will go with you. Then Joe will go with yours. And then
Okay.
if there's time at the end, I have a couple other ones that I can share. Okay.
Nice.
Let's see how that goes. So here, let me start off first with this guy. Let me pull it up for you.
So before you start, Mr.
Yeah.
Pineapples, your sound is a little different.
You sound a little in a tunnel.
Yeah.
In a tunnel. So give me 1 second here, actually.
Yes, sir.
Let me change this. Oh, you know why?
Chon says you needed a nap. That's why you left. You're probably right. Probably right.
Oh, here we go.
This should sound better now.
There we go.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Yeah, it was definitely a technical bump. So I want to share a story and a video of a man. I'm going to read you his story, and then I'm going to share the video, okay?
Okay.
All right. So this is about a man who and it'll get a little heavy because that's kind of how sometimes feel-good stories can be. This is about a man who joined the KKK,
Oh.
the Ku Klux Klan. Army veteran Christopher Buckley used to be a national security leader for the Ku Klux Klan, but now he is using his time to spread compassion and racial understanding. Buckley says that he first developed racist attitudes because of his rough childhood in Cleveland, Ohio. After joining the Army and serving overseas in Afghanistan and Iraq for 13 years, he began hating Muslims as well. Upon returning home to Walker County, Georgia, he became an honored official in the Georgia White Knights chapter of the KKK. He's pretty high up there.
Wow.
Thankfully, after he befriended a man named Arno Michaels in 2016, his passion for white nationalism came to an end. Arno Michaels was a former member of one of the largest racist skinhead organizations in America. He managed to unlearn his hateful tendencies and now volunteers for Parents for Peace, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting youngsters from racist ideologies and helping white nationalists to let go of their dangerous stereotypes. Thanks to his friendship with Michaels, Buckley left the KKK and began exposing himself to Black, Muslim, and refugee communities. Their compassion towards Buckley spurred him to become a volunteer with Parents for Peace, and he now spends his time helping youth and adults find the exact same transformation that he found in empathy and kindness.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was reading this at work and even watching this video I'm about to show you guys, and I was just moved, and I was just like, man, that was
They give him
powerful.
hope, you know?
Yes. I messaged a group that I'm a part of, and I was like, I have hope when I read and see stories like this. And I was like, man, this is so helpful. So let me share this video with you guys so you can watch it. It's only a couple minutes long.
Okay.
County man says he's sharing his story in hopes of inspiring others. Chris Buckley is a former Ku Klux Klan leader. He left in 2016. News Channel 9's Kylie Thomas has a look into his troubling past and how he's now teaching others to learn compassion.
A Walker County man has turned his life around after being a leader in the KKK. He says he was able to get rid of the hate that was in his heart by understanding the people he once despised were just like him.
0411, that meant the four times the 11th letter of the alphabet, which is KKK.
Chris Buckley's scars remind him of his past.
I was an Imperial Nighthawk.
What does that mean?
It means I was head of security for the entire United States.
Buckley was once a leader in the KKK. In this video published on the Washington Post, you can see Buckley and his young son in clean robes.
If being proud of his heritage makes him a racist, well, I'll teach him to be racist.
Buckley says he learned hate during his troubling childhood in Cleveland, Ohio. He says he also learned to hate Muslims, serving overseas in the Army for 13 years.
The hurt that I've caused and the hurt that the organizations that I used to take part in have caused this country, I can't allow it to happen anymore.
The seed began to be planted in Buckley's life. In 2016, a former white supremacist walked into his home in Lafayette, Georgia. Arno Michaelis helped Buckley get out of the KKK. That mentor also introduced Buckley to Dr. Hevel Kelly.
People like Dr. Kelly came into my life, and he was the exact description of what I hated. He was a Syrian Muslim refugee coming here.
Buckley says the genuine compassion and acceptance from the Black and refugee communities turned his life around.
If they'd have known me 5 years ago and know me now, like, people change. You just have to give them the opportunity.
Now Buckley is using what he knows to change the world. He helps others identify the trauma that sparks hateful views so they can overcome their own bias like he has.
I think scars teach us about where we've been in life.
Buckley has since covered up his cryptic ink with new tattoos. The scars remind him of his bruised past, but he says they also reveal hope that people can rewrite the hate in their lives. In Walker County, I'm Kylie Thomas, News Channel 9.
And if you're looking for advice on how to talk to someone in your life with white supremacist or other extremist views, there is a hotline that can help. We put that number on your screen.
Wow. That, I mean,
Right.
it's just craziness in that little baby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is nuts.
Is
But
that number still active? Is that still?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a story that was just last month or the month before.
oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, this is extremely. I mean, you know what I mean? Like pretty
Right.
recent. I'll get you the exact date. Yeah, July 9th.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I was like,
I'm like, what day was
Yesterday.
that?
That was
that was
yesterday.
yesterday, right? we're like looking. Oh, that's yesterday.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
found that and I was just like, guys, I was like, I am so some of the work that I do off the show, I'm a part of a group that's trying to help make changes for people of color. And seeing this, I was just like, this is the stuff that helps drive me to make a better future for my kids, for my family. And it's like, man, if the worst can transform, there's definitely hope. If one person can do it,
Right.
it makes a difference. It makes
Yeah.
difference.
Oh, for sure. Wow.
Absolutely.
So
And I didn't even realize that organization, or I mean, that's such a, I don't even know what to call it, but that they have so many levels and ranks, and
they're
Yeah.
legit, like organized.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're really organized.
I had
unfortunately.
no idea.
They're not like a couple knuckleheads out there. They're serious, group to contend with, if that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah.
So anyhow, that's fine.
Wow, that was a very encouraging story.
Yeah, the other ones are pretty encouraging too. So if we have time, hopefully I can share them. But I was in tears today at work, reading that for the first time, and I was just like, God, thank you, thank you. Just
Yeah, it's like you needed something to kind of boost that positive energy that seems to be lacking sometimes.
yes,
for
yes.
sure.
All right, we can move on to your Sandy.
Okay, so my story today is from your neck of the woods, Mr. Hyman. This happened in Chicago.
It did.
So this was really cool. So I found this story. This was actually a recent one too. This was June the 26th. And this is about a 70-year-old paletero. Okay. And so Jamie, you guess show the video and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
What's that?
A paletero. He is
You'll
the guy
see it.
that you see. Yeah. Okay. You'll see it.
Okay, that's like translation.
Right. Abner.
Can you hear it?
No,
No.
Oh, I forgot to unmute it.
no, it's unmuted.
Now it is.
Hey, good morning. Surfing the web this morning. A Chicago man's video has gone viral on TikTok. His family ran into a paleta man named Don Rosario on Father's Day. The family decided to buy all of the man's popsicles that he was selling out on the street,
okay, I know.
so that he could go home. It was a really hot day. They wanted him to go home and enjoy Father's Day. Take a look at this.
He's crying if you can't see.
Yeah, I'm about to start crying.
Yeah.
God, that's great.
Yeah, just a really awesome moment. Michelangelo Mosqueda posted the video on TikTok. It got more than 5 million views. After that, he decided to launch a GoFundMe account for Don Rosario, who is 70 years old, still selling paletas.
Yes.
They hope to raise $10,000 to help him retire. In just 12 hours, they've raised more than $23,000
that is so great.
for him. Yeah, it's very cool. You can see the full video on TikTok. His account is Miklo_98, MIKLO_98. Thought that was a really nice thing. Just happened here in Chicago a couple days ago, kind of taking off on the TikTok. So
That's great.
back to you
awesome.
guys.
Thanks, Mark.
So he's 70 years old, still works. I mean, he was out in the heat selling that, and this family just says, "Hey, let's buy everything." So I was reading his story, and of course, I got emotional when I saw that. I think of my grandparents and the struggles, and so anyway, his hope is to go back. He's from Zacatecas, Mexico, and that's his goal is to go back home.
Wow.
So, yeah, his GoFundMe account, you saw the number there. And so they presented him with his with that money, and he was just beside himself. They said, let's see. Oh, he said he stopped selling his paletas, which is the Mexican style popsicles, for a few minutes, and he cried as he recalled the gift he got for Father's Day. And anyway, so they've raised like $40,000 for him.
Wow.
And I mean, it's just been amazing. He stopped by the family's home to they went by and found him and gave him the money and stuff like that. So what happened was he actually was a carpenter, but at 70.
Yeah.
He was a carpenter, sustained an injury, and so he went to selling paletas so that he could still earn a living.
Yeah, because they
Wow.
don't like to sit still. They
Mhm.
don't like to they want to work and they want to be doing something, especially with their hands and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So he said, I don't like to sit at home doing nothing and without a purpose. I have to thank God I'm still able to work, but I don't have enough to ever be able to thank the family who's done this for me, and it made me so happy. And so anyway, he said, I don't deserve this. He immigrated to the United States in 1969, and he became a citizen in 1979. And
Wow.
so he said, when I first decided to immigrate to the U.S., my only wish was that my family and I could eat at least once a day. He said we were very, very poor. California was his first home. He picked fruits and vegetables for many years before working at ranches and other factories in Houston, Texas, and Oregon. He said he's had countless jobs. And when he moved to Chicago, he established his family on the southeast side, where he was able to buy a home to raise his 3 children with the help of his wife. And in 2015, he was able to slow down when he finally finished paying off his house. So he said he's made mistakes with his life, including run-ins with the law, but having to deal with them helped him to become a better person. He said, I was diligent to do everything right to pay for the mistakes that I've made. He hopes to one day to return to his native Zacatecas, and the first thing that he plans to do is visit the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe to thank God for the blessings that he has received. When they told him how much he had raised, he was just speechless.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought that was awesome. And, like Jamie's story, it gives me hope. There are still good people out there that they're just, the stories are overshadowed by the negativity. So.
And it's really something. It was such an easy feat for the family to do what they did. Like all they did was, to be honest with you, all they did was buy his ice cream and then put up a GoFundMe for him.
The power of TikTok, Jamie. The power
You don't
of
have
TikTok.
to anyway. So just a little bit, that all it takes. A lot of times we walk through life and we think if someone would do that or something would happen, like that could be you. You can do that. You can make it happen.
There's a Matthew West song. It's a Christian singer, and he said, "If not me, then who?" And I always think, because it's so powerful, because we're always waiting for someone else. Someone else is going to do that. And then, and then somebody else with that same mentality, someone else is going to do that. So, it's up to us. We have to be the ones that step up.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had a thing happen at the office the other day. It was really tough on me because we're right in the middle of what's going on, right? And I don't know how many times someone has knocked on my door or my window in a parking lot to ask for money or whatever. And so there's been a couple times where it was the same guy, just a different parking lot. And so I've become very numb to those types of people. And so this guy came up to my door. He knocked on it. He's like, "Hey, I'm not looking for money. I just missed the bus." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Do you think you could drive me down to the bus stop?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." It's like, but at that point I'm thinking, I was like, man, there's all kinds of negative things going on in my head. And I'm just like, trying to fight those because I do want to help somebody. And but I ended up taking him all the way across town where he needed to go. So, of course he did share some, conspiracy theories with me that was a little off-putting, but other than that, he was very thankful that I took him over there. So that was, but yeah, sometimes you want so much. I want to see the good in people, and so much I want to help out people. But I feel it's nice hearing these stories because I feel like I'm jaded too. So it's
so hard not to be. Here in our news, I don't know if you guys remember, there was right after Hurricane. What was the most recent one? Was it Harvey?
I think so.
Well, there was a lady. She lives here in town, and she was going around telling people, I'm displaced from Hurricane Harvey. I'm just trying to get back. Well, she's not. She lives here. Well, she happened to approach me at Walgreens, and I'm like, oh, I know who you are. And I'm horrible. I never have any cash on me. And if I do have cash, I spend it just as fast as I get it. And I'm
Right.
like, where'd I go? Anyway.
Eric's eyes are rolling.
Yeah, that's true. And so anyway, so I'm like you. I'm like, I don't trust anybody that tells me a story just because I'm like, I saw you on the news and you have a beautiful daughter that your mother is having to raise because you're out here panhandling and lying to people.
Mm-hmm.
But then she uses the Lord. She's like, well, whatever God puts on your heart. And I'm like, why are you bringing God into this?
Exactly. So I guess it's my turn.
Your
And
turn.
Yeah.
it's my turn. And so y'all will be very proud of me. I actually did this homework 3 days ago.
Well, I was impressed. I'm like, I told Jimmy that's premeditated.
Right, exactly. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to get ahead of the curve here because I know that y'all are used to seeing C+ work for me. I want to go for the B minus. So,
So 3 days. Yeah.
so 3 days. But so my whole goal was to find a movie that was feel good, that the kids and the whole family could enjoy, and was on Netflix. So, because that's the most popular streaming service right now that a lot of people have access to. But the show that I chose was called My Life as a Zucchini.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it, right? Yeah, so that's the other reason I picked it because it hasn't been heard of. And then it is a French movie, but it has been translated into English. It is dubbed English. So, and from what I've read, they did a very good job of translating it. There is some French signs and stuff like that that pop up that you can kind of make out. But it's really a show about kids. And so this boy, in the very beginning, lost his father, and then something happens and he loses his mother. And so,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so it's basically a Disney movie.
I was gonna say, what is it?
No, it's not. Without the music, without the singing and stuff like that. But it is. He gets sent to a foster home, which is more like I would say it's more like a orphanage. But I know that they don't have those anymore. But it doesn't really show a timeline or basically what it is. Anyways, he gets sent to this foster home. And it hit home because my wife is a CPS worker and she has to deal with these foster kids a lot and stuff like that. So it really hit home because one of the most discouraging lines that I remember from the movie, and I'm trying not to give away the whole movie, but one of the most discouraging lines that I heard was they said the foster home. This place is for a place that for kids that don't have anyone to love them anymore.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was like, "Ooh!" It was.
yeah. Ouch.
It was that line like stuck out like crazy, and basically it goes through. He meets a bully, and all that stuff, and then meets someone that he really cares about, and then all these kids create this family within this orphanage / foster home, and in the end, of course, it's a positive ending. It's a feel good ending. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. It actually has 7.8 stars out of 10 on IMDb. It is, like I said, French. It just came out in 2017, and it's called My Life as a Zucchini. Now, I will tell you, it's a little on the slow side, and there's not a whole bunch of action or a whole bunch of going on, but it's just these kids and their life inside this foster home and how they got there and stuff like that. So it's really, I loved it. I loved how it ended, and it's stop motion, so like claymation type look, so it's really interesting in how they do some of that stuff. So,
Do you know if it's based on a true story?
it is not based on a true story.
Okay. I probably won't watch it. Not really.
Right, exactly. But it has received quite a few accolades. The Meta is it was nominated for an Oscar,
Oh wow.
and it had 23 wins and 22 nominations. Let me see here. Best Picture Animated at the Golden Globes in 2017, and Best Animated Feature Film of the Year at the Academy Awards in 20. Oh, it was a nominee, and it won. Let's see here, International Animated Film Festival, and it was a nominee at the Cannes Film Festival in 2016. So it is well loved by a lot of critics and stuff like that. But I think it's a good, especially if you know foster kids or around foster kids, it's a good story for them to watch to give them some hope and to let them know that there is a better story for them than what they currently have. So
Awesome. Well,
Wow.
thanks, Joe.
I'm impressed.
I think I'm going to give it a look-see.
Look, see.
I'm curious. Did the producer watch it?
No, I watched it by myself.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Look, your grade's going up. He's
No
like,
kidding.
Mhm.
I think he went from a C minus to a A, maybe even.
oh my goodness.
Maybe. No,
generous
he didn't give us any
over there.
visuals. B plus. B plus.
Well, I could give you the trailer.
It's
You want
too
to do the
late.
trailer?
I was. It's too late.
It's too late.
I already told you.
I want to watch it.
No, I mean for your grade. You could show it. I was saying
Okay,
for your
okay,
grade,
yeah.
So.
Let me
He's
see.
like,
if I
it's
can
not
pull
going
the
to boost your
trailer.
grade.
Let's
This
see
is
if
no
I'll-
extra credit.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Share my screen. This one, share. And I don't know if it's going to be in French or not, but so here we go.
Okay.
Oh, well, I know French, so we're good.
Okay, good.
Really?
Elle était gentille avec toi, ta maman?
Elle buvait beaucoup de bière.
She really liked to
Des
drink
fois, on
beer.
rigolait.
Écoute, je vais t'emmener dans un endroit avec d'autres enfants comme toi.
Je vous présente votre nouveau camarade, Icar.
Mon nom, c'est Courgette. Moi, je dirais plutôt patate vu sa tête. Oh, trop balèze,
There's the bully.
Courgette.
Of course.
Salut Raymond. Ici, tout va bien. La nouvelle, elle s'appelle Camille. Moi, c'est Courgette. Et elle a des yeux qui font un petit peu mal au ventre. Et la nouvelle, raconte-nous un peu pourquoi t'es ici. Ah, toi t'es le chef, c'est ça? Ouais, voilà, ouais, t'as tout pigé. Tu vois, c'est comme ça qu'il faut leur parler aux filles. Quand mes parents sont morts, je suis allée vivre chez ma tante.
Faire kidnapper par un flic, c'est vraiment n'importe quoi.
Dès qu'on est que les deux, je te laisserai pas partir. Et je pensais pas que ça pouvait être si cool la vie. Et avec vous ici, c'est vraiment cool. Allez, bataille de boules de neige, filles contre garçons! Si on m'avait pas amené là, je t'aurais jamais connu. Parfois on pleure parce qu'on est content. Hein, dit Raymond? Trop cool!
Yeah, that last line right there. Sometimes we cry because we're happy.
Man, that's so cute.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That was good,
and
Joe.
it is dubbed in English, so you don't have to read subtitles because I know some people are anti-subtitle.
Not me.
So, can you tell me a
Because
little
we're
bit?
illiterate, that's why.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Yeah, hilarious. I want to read a couple of
Comments.
yes, thank you. Priscilla said up here earlier, I once picked up a hitchhiker and drove him to the next town. I had to be careful, and I asked him for all his lives. But he was trying to catch a ride, and when I passed him, I looked in the rearview mirror, and he looked defeated. That is why I did it. I drove 30 miles to the next town. I don't know if I will do it again or not.
So let me tell y'all my story about picking up a hitchhiker one day. So I was on my way to work and it had snowed. Like that we had this unexpected snow and there was this guy that was walking to work. And so I whip around in my car and I roll down my window. I'm like, get in. And he's like, it's okay. I'm almost there. I'm like, just get in the car right now. I scared the poor guy to death.
He thought the opposite. He thought you were going to do something.
And he was shivering, and I was like, he was either shivering with fear or because he was cold. But y'all, he sit right close to the door. He
had
was ready to go.
You'd have scared me too.
Yeah, he had his hand on the handle.
I'm just messing with you, Priscilla. I think that's just the father, the husband in me. When I hear a story like that, and that's the starting line, I'm like, what did she do? So
Right,
I'm used to if my wife calls me and says, "Babe, there's someone over here." I'm like, "Okay, just come home and I'll come over there and deal with it." Come on. So
Look at that. This is what Lindy called you, Sandy the kid.
I sure did.
that's technically what he could have been underage and all that, and you were just like, "Get in the car."
Just get in right now. I'll take you where you're going. Anyway, so he'll see me every now and then. He's like, "Hey, I know where he works."
Oh gosh, great! I'm gonna read Carrie's here too.
Okay.
I'm gonna brag on my husband. Every time he passes a woman, young man, or someone elderly on the side of the road in need of a tire change, he will help change their tire or teach the young man how to do it. Aww.
Nice.
Madeline has been witness to her daddy doing this several times. I always tell her to make sure she finds a partner who will always stop what they are doing to care for someone in need, even if it means they are getting oil on their suit pants.
That's so awesome, Carrie. I've had strangers. I had and Ruby, Ruby. I had a blowout, and they helped me change it. And I didn't even realize that it had blown out. It was a big tire, and yeah, they pulled me over and they were like, "We'll change it for you." And I thought, "Oh my gosh."
And I'm sorry.
No, you're done.
I was gonna say, and there's something to what you're saying too, Carrie. Like with Madeline saying them, like the girls have seen me. Like I've seen cars on the side of the road. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go drop y'all off, and they're like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, that car, I gotta go pick them up and help them. And they're like, oh, okay, good. That's what we were hoping you were gonna go do. And so I'll go drop them, come back and do it, and then go do all that business. And there are plenty of times when the girls are always seeing someone on the side of the road, and they're like, Dad, you got to go help them out. And I'll be like, I am. And they're like, but you didn't stop. I'm like, I got to get you home first. I can't help. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna do it responsibly, but I need to make sure that you girls are safe. You're my first priority, is what I tell them, and then I'll come back and take care of them. And they're always like, "Oh, okay." Right. I did. Just sorry, got sidetracked. I'm looking at the comments real quick.
Okay, no,
no one
I don't
have
think
another
there were any other story ones.
Okay,
but I like what Carrie Patton Jackson said about me. So.
So
it is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're gonna. Joe just got Employee of the Month. Booyah!
Of last month.
Yeah. We're gonna keep that up there. So.
So do I have time to share one more story?
I think we got time. Yeah.
Okay, so this is good because I wanted to give a shout out, and this is dealing with something that is kind of dear to me in a certain way. So I'll share about this. The story I'm going to read from here in a second is from something called the Dad Gang. Now, there is a common view out there. You know what? I'm going to let them say it better than I will, okay? 4 years ago, a woman approached a black father who was shopping at the grocery store with his kids. She commended him for sticking around and doing right by his children. Now he and his dad gang are marching in Washington, D.C. in an effort to challenge such racial stereotypes. Sean Williams says that moment in the grocery store in a mostly white Long Island neighborhood was not unique, and many of his friends have experienced similar situations. The encounter led him to launch an organization of solidarity for black dads with a mission to change the way people view black fatherhood. According to the CDC, African American fathers who live with their children are more active than other groups in terms of changing diapers and bathing and dressing their kids. Sean wants these positive qualities of black fatherhood to become more well known and more celebrated in the culture. The Dad Gang has evolved into a community of socially conscious allies whose motto, "We are Dad Goals," sums up the purpose of the group's events: to enjoy their time together while setting the new standard of what black fatherhood looks like worldwide. Thanks to the Dad Gang, it was not just an ordinary Father's Day weekend in the nation's capital. Hundreds gathered with Sean and his group at the National Museum of African American History and Culture to celebrate their families and bust racial stereotypes. Sheila Roberts of Tampa, Florida was in D.C. visiting her father. When she heard about the event at the museum, she couldn't think of a better way to celebrate his big day. Black fathers don't get the credit they deserve, she told the Washington Post. I'm here to dispel the myth and stereotype. The group also stood in solidarity with those protesting the death of George Floyd in recent weeks. Edward Smith, COO of the Dad Gang, told ABC that Floyd's daughter, although she lost her father to racial injustice, she also gained 1 million more dads who cared about her. They might have been hearkening back to memories of the Million Man March 25 years ago, when nearly 1 million black men and family members came to the National Mall to pledge to be better fathers and lift up their communities. The Dad Gang has positioned themselves at the next level of the national conversation. Hashtag Dad Goals include inspiring people with photos and videos on social media, like on their Instagram page, about the joy and reality of black fatherhood and family life. You can support their mission here. How much time do we got, Joe?
We got a minute.
I got a 2-minute video here. Oh.
Sound.
Yep, sorry. I'll get the sound part down eventually.
Jeep.
Uh-oh, you're playing an ad.
Connected, we all are. And maybe, if we look at the big picture, it'll remind us just how amazing.
I rewound back too far.
Yeah, you did.
Well, hold on, it's almost done.
Bottles, diapers, and cuddles. Portraits of fatherhood posted by the Dad Gang, a group of black fathers and supporters shattering stereotypes and building community.
The Dad Gang is an organization of active black fathers on a mission to change the way the world views black fatherhood.
Meet Sean Williams, a devoted father of 3. 4 years ago, a woman approached him at the grocery store and commended him for sticking around.
You know, we're not an anomaly. We're not unicorns.
Williams realized his friend shared similar experiences and decided to rewrite the narrative on black fatherhood by sharing the reality of their families.
Being a good father means everything to me.
This Father's Day, in just a few hours, dads of all races will join them in the March of Dads in Washington, D.C. They'll take to the streets in solidarity while fundraising for George Floyd's daughter, Gigi.
I want the world to know that her, as well as any other child that lost their father to racial injustice, although they lost their father, they just gained 1 million more.
The group hoping to empower its members by replacing negative stereotypes with positive affirmations.
I am, Dad Goals. Dad Goals.
During this historic moment in the fight for racial justice, the group is looking to the future.
I hope we really change the world and change the way the world views us.
And up and down.
So yeah, I think about that up here in Bloomington Normal, for example, and I hear a lot about people who tell me about this kind of thing, or they're not present or whatever. I'm like, man, I don't know what people are talking about, because the black fathers that I see over here, Lou Donnelly, Jason Gibson, Craig Lee, Sylvester Davis, those are some of the men who I really enjoy being around. All those black men are not just around, but super heavily involved with their daughters. And yeah, I'm so happy that there's an organization like this that's really trying to change how people perceive black fathers. So
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
Dad Goals.
Dad Goals. I like that, right? So
mine is Dad Bod Goals. And
Right.
I've hit that. I've hit that really well. I think I'm an overachiever on that one.
Right.
So we're at that ending mark. I do want to just share Linda's story because she shared one, and I just want to make sure we get someone. You guys are watching us, so I want to share your stories too. I stopped at the Spade Ranch one day to take pics of the clouds. Anyway, this young man stopped to help me because he noticed the scooter on the back of my vehicle. He was going to help me. How sweet.
That's awesome, Linda.
That is cool. There are good people still out there, y'all.
Yeah, there are. We just need to give them a chance sometimes,
we
right?
need to, yeah.
We need to be that good people, right?
We need to be the good people too.
Starts with us.
Yeah, you're right on that.
It starts with y'all.
Right. And Joe wanting that.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my A-. I'm good.
He's like,
Continually getting an A-, Joe. Continually getting it. So guys, thank you so much. I hope you had a good night with us. I hope we got you some feel-good stories in there and that you feel a lot more positive today, leaving the week and starting the weekend. Joe, you're not going to be here next week with us, are you?
No, I will be gone on vacation.
Wow.
On vacation.
Joe is starting it very positive.
Yes. But I will try to check in every now and then. I may be a long-time caller or long-time watcher, first-time caller.
You can do some field reports.
I can do some field reports.
That's a
Yes.
good idea.
I'm thinking about trying to get some field reports going, so
Okay,
I'll see what I
awesome.
can do.
So guys, stay tuned. We do have guest hosts coming in next week to fill in for our slacker over here leaving. So,
Right, Mr. I need a vacation.
So if go ahead and join us in the after show where we go and we take off script and don't worry about whatever we're trying to do, and we just throw it down.
We have scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's mine?"
Dang it.
So anyway,
Thanks,
guys,
Blink.
have a great weekend. We love you. Please come back next on Monday to join us and see who our special guest host is. And as usual,
Remember to wash your hands.
for at least 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
night,
everyone.
good night.
Enjoy your weekends.
Linda said,
What?
"Employee of the month goes on vacation."
Go
That's
figure.
right.
That's what you do.
That's what happens.
John says, Mr. Knapp.
And Carrie said we need a box for him named No Joe Mo.
Oh,
Priscilla had said before we leave, we went out of town in May and I needed help, but decided we needed to help after about 5 minutes. The first guy we finally waved down helped us. We were so happy. I'm so
Nice.
happy you got help too.